Now I'll tell you what gets in the way of trading and leads you to blow your account. I'll share my own experience and the experience of many of our students, and a lot of you will recognize yourselves in it. And of course, we'll break down a step-by-step plan on how to get rid of negativity and start trading consistently in the green. So get comfortable and let's dive into this interesting topic. Make sure to watch until the end, because there will really be a lot of small factors that, together, affect the whole picture and, as a result, lead you to a negative outcome. So let's get started. Let's start by opening a trade with the booster bot in the background. Let's even pick a 5-minute time frame right away, just 5 minutes. Now, let's switch over to the booster bot, and let's make it the currency pair, British pound, US dollar. We select the currency pair, set the trade time to 5 minutes, and now I just wait for my signal. I get a buy signal. Right from here, I open a buy trade for 5 minutes, and now all that's left is to wait for our results. Look, the very first thing that's always going to get in your way is emotions in trading. If you have a lot of emotions, if you're an emotional person, then you really need to work on that. One option is to go see a psychologist. Or you could just start working out. Basically do whatever you can to minimize your emotions. What do they even affect? They actually have both negative and positive effects. So having too many positive emotions can actually be a downside for us. For example, let's say you made a lot of money at once, and you start thinking that. For example, you had one win, then another, then a third, and your stats just keep going up like this. And at some point you realize you got this crown on your head, and with that crown, you just come crashing down. So, from super positive emotions, you can suddenly drop weight down, and it works exactly the same way in reverse. If you have a streak of losses, for example, just one loss after another, your stats go down, and you just don't feel like climbing back up from there. Even though, for instance, you might have had a series of winning trades coming up next. So whether you're up or down, sometimes you just have to tough out those losses a bit, so be careful with your emotions. In trading, it's better to turn them off completely. Again, if you don't know how to do that, just message our managers. I'll leave the link in the description. And understand that losses are totally normal. It's part of our job, and nobody has a track record of 100% winning trades. So in any case, there are, 70% winning trades, sometimes around 60% winning trades. But if your stats are 50% or higher, just remember, 50% and up, that's already a good result. So you can work with that. And next, I'll show you what you need to do to achieve those stats. Honestly, there's nothing difficult about it. It's just a matter of practice. So if you keep practicing regularly, it's only a matter of time before you start getting positive results. So just keep practicing and you'll start succeeding. And of course, keep your emotions in check. The next thing that holds a lot of traders back is the demo account. If you trade on a demo account for too long, if you test your strategy for too long, you start to lose touch with how to actually work with a real account and real money. Sure, if you have a lot of money, that's one thing. But some people, due to circumstances, only have $200 or $500 for their first deposit. And as a result, they start out on a demo account, they get used to these big amounts like $50,000, $40,000, and then they can't do anything about it later. They switch to a real account and feel inadequate, deprived, because their balance is so small. So here too, you need to be careful not to spend too much time on a demo account. Then everything will work out well. That is, it's better to take a real account and pick, for example, 5%, 10%, maybe even 3%. With such small percentages, you already feel more confident where to work with a small percentage. So you're really not risking much of anything. For example, 3% of my deposit is $300. So if I lose these $300, I don't really get anything. In other words, I don't really lose much either. If I earn, say, from these $300, I also won't really feel the profit. That's why you need to be very careful here. Risk management is a separate topic altogether. Again, if you have any questions, or if you want to discuss something specific, then go ahead and follow the link in the description right now and write to our managers. I'll leave the link in the description. Don't be afraid, write to our managers. We have a team of psychologists and professional traders who will help you and answer all your questions. Anyway, I'll leave the links in the description. By the way, in the meantime, the trade isn't going in my favor so far. Yes, we made a really good move, but as you can see, we've apparently reached some kind of level. And if we look at this currency pair, most likely because of the large volumes. Yeah, we have really big volumes right now. It seems we've hit some level that even the booster bot didn't anticipate. So that happens too. There's no need to get upset about it. I'll just cover this loss with my next trade, say, for $2,000. It happens. There's no need to get emotional here. You just need to keep a cool head and be able to adapt to the situation. So, if you have any questions or issues, there's a link waiting for you in the description. Message our managers. We have as many as 12 of them, so each one can reply to you when they're available. Yes, as we can see, unfortunately minus 11 points. There was a really good movement, but alas, this happens. So, if you don't want to deal with such losses, then join our Telegram channel, reach out to our support account, and you'll be able to chat with our managers, who can give you advice and help you out in some of your situations. Alright, let's try to cover this loss now with a 1-minute trade. We'll choose 5-second candles for a better entry point. We'll cover the loss now, and then talk more about the things that lead you to losses. For example, I'm choosing the currency pair Australian dollar to Canadian dollar. I go to the booster bot and get a new signal for the Australian dollar to Canadian dollar currency pair. I just need to find it. And now I select 1 minute as the trade duration. My platform is fully set up. Now we wait for a signal from the bot, get a buy signal, and open a buy trade right from here. And now we just wait for the results. In theory, this trade should close nicely and profit right now. We have good volatility in the market, so let's wait for our profit. And in the meantime, let's keep talking. What else could be a reason for losing money? Actually, strangely enough, it's risk. If you're always trading with 1 or 2% of your deposit, with $1 or $10, very small amounts, and then suddenly, at some point, you switch, for example, to $100 to $200. So you feel confident in your stats, but you don't have confidence in your deposit. And as a result, your earnings don't grow in a linear way. For example, instead of your earnings going up like this, your earnings go like this. You make money for a moment, and then you lose it all just as quickly. So to avoid that, just pick a stable percentage per trade for yourself. It could be 5 or 10%, for some less, for others more. Just choose whatever percentage you're comfortable with. By the way, I'm covering my loss and making $1,800. Moving on. The next point, which can also lead to losses, is the lack of self-analysis. In other words, if you don't understand why you're losing, and you don't have the points mentioned above, then it could just be simple mistakes in your analysis. It could be a basic mistake with the booster bot. Many guys select 5 minutes, but open trades for 3 minutes, and they don't notice it. They don't see what time they've actually chosen. Yeah, it could be set like this, or maybe like that. So dig into all these little details. Look at what you keep doing wrong. If your stats are, say, 40%, then you need to radically change your strategy. If your stats are around 60 or 70% profitable trades, then you just need to tweak a few things. Yeah, like for example, with volumes. If you see that there are large volumes, then open your trades for 1 minute, for example, or for 3 minutes, but don't open them for 5 minutes. That's the mistake I made, and as a result, I paid for it. With high volatility, the booster bot calculated we would go up. We went up sharply, and we bounced off the level sharply. But still, that kind of thing happens. Another very common mistake is that you simply don't understand why you need trading. A lot of people come here just to play around, just to try it out, and that basically turns it into a trader's casino. If you clearly understand that you like charts, you like doing analysis, then you really will make money here. And money, in fact, is a very nice bonus of trading. Many people come here just for the charts, not for earnings. As a result, they make no money. They trade, for example, with just $1. But if you realize you enjoy analysis, like drawing levels, trading with a robot, and of course making money, then you're on the path to success. Actually, making money is still more of a priority here than just analysis. In other words, analysis is more for mathematicians. Still, I enjoy analysis. I love it. I love being right when my analysis turns out correct, and I understand my reward is money. You need to figure out your goal. Why are you getting into trading? As for everything else, levels, some technical stuff with indicators, all of that is really solved with practice. So just practice more and let your emotions affect you less. If anything, our team is always available. You could always write to our support account, trade with us, figure out the reasons why you're losing money, and work through it together with your strategy. All of this is available to you in our community. So subscribe to our Telegram channel, message our managers, and then we'll be able to help you and go over your situation. Our partners really do earn very well, and within 4, sometimes even 3 weeks, they sort out their issues and start making from $1,000 a week. So if you want the same results, then follow the link in the description and message us on the support account. Everything will also be repeated in the pinned comment. And of course, I'll leave the link to the booster bot in the description as well. In short, all the links are waiting for you in the description and the pinned comment. That's where I'll say goodbye to you for now. See you in the next videos.